2000 Dinka Chavos, the official car of you want a Feroci, but you want your ass to look stubby as hell. Seriously though, I like this car. From the front, it looks fine, but the back, it looks too short. Also, I don't mind that it's rear drive, but it feels like a front-wheel drive car for some reason. The Chavo should have a bigger ass. Why does it look so weird from the back? It's rear drive, but it drives kinda whack. I drifted into a curve with a mighty smack. Thank you. 2000 Dinka Chavos. A car I've seen driving around Ho Beach for years, but never gave it a second thought. It looks rather odd from the front and back. I can kinda see why I didn't make the cut to GTA 5. However, this rather unassuming sedan is actually quite fun to drive and quite quick. I'll discuss that in a bit. The Dinka Chavos does not appear in any prior games in the series, making GTA 4 the only game for the Chavos to appear in. The name, Chavos, derives from the slang term for money and young men. Chav is also a slang for British youths who typically wear tracksuits and Burberry caps. The Chavos cross between several vehicles, including a 6th generation European market Honda Accord, which by the way, were built in England, probably hence the name Chavos. A Peugeot 406, Nissan S14 Sylvia and Altima, a Toyota Tercel, with the overall look resembling a DB series Honda Integra sedan. The 3rd generation Honda Integra, or Acura Integra from the States, was manufactured from 93 up until 2001, with the arrival of the Acura RSX and the DC5 Integra, depending on your region. It was offered in either a 2-door hatchback, well, I mean you could call it a hatchback, but it's more like a coupe, but it does have an actual hatch, so I suppose it's a hatchback, whatever. And a 4-door sedan. Engines on offer were a 1.6 liter single overhead cam D16 Z6, same as the US market Del Sol, a 1.8 double cam B18B, and a B18B with VTEC. Transmissions included a close ratio 5-speed manual transmission and a 4-speed automatic with a 2400 RPM torque converter. I don't know what that means, but it was on the wiki, so I just put it in there. Funnily enough, Honda also offered an all-wheel drive version of this car known as the DB9. No relation to the Aston Martin car. It was only offered, unfortunately, with the single cam V16 mentioned earlier, and it featured the similar version of Honda's real-time four-wheel drive system as the CR-V. Well, I'm assuming it's the same as the CR-V because the CR-V wasn't out in '95 yet, so they had like 2 different versions. So I'm assuming it's close enough, I guess. I don't know. The Acura Integra, which was backed under Honda's performance brand, Acura, obviously, remained largely unchanged, albeit the front end with the quad headlamps. To be honest, not a big fan of the quad headlamps. I actually preferred the previous generation of the US market one, the DA generation. Is it the DA? Yeah, the DA one. It looks more like the actual JDM Integra, but that's not part of this video, so I won't talk much about it. They did come out with these awesome spoked wheels, which by the way I have on my Civic. You'll probably see a picture on the screen real quick of my car, so there you go. So, what's under the hood of this bad boy? Under the hood we got a double overhead cam inline 4-cylinder paired to a 5-speed gearbox. How's it handle? Relatively decent. The power output is slightly higher than most sedans in the class, and one thing I do mention though is the suspension is a tad floaty. However, it does work in its favor because the floaty suspension can make the car slide pretty easily. And luckily the car has enough torque on the engine to remain in the power band for a bit longer, so that way if you're in mid-drift you won't lose all power and lose momentum essentially, basically. However, thanks to the car's 40 suspension, it does work in his favor, as if you were to say, I don't know, drift into a curb, you wouldn't have to worry about your car flipping over, as I so gracefully drifted to a curb here in this clip. I will have to say though, watching that clip later on after editing my footage, I couldn't help but cringe a little bit. I mean, this is GTA 4, so there's not any like extensive car damage, but if this was like BeamNG or, God forbid, real life, I'm pretty sure the wheel would have just been like, adios, and dislodged themselves from the wheel hubs and, you know, or probably just ruined the alignment and ruined the suspension and probably ruined a bunch of other stuff too, because it just looked so painful. Crunch. 2000 Dinka Chavos. While the rear end may look like ass, the rest of the car is quite nice. Maybe if you chose nicer wheels too, that would have helped. I give it 8 out of 10. Handles and drives great for the right driver, but looks so funky. 2000 Dinka Chavos. If the Hakumai was rear-wheel drive, it would be this. Well, there you go, guys. There's my review of the Dinka Chavos. It's just probably one of the cars I didn't really like, honestly. I mean, it handles nice. It drives nice, but the looks, I just can't wrap my head around. It just looks so weird. That rear end just, if it just extended the rear end by like about, I don't know, a foot or so, made a bit longer rear end, it would look a little nicer. Or maybe like shortened maybe made the coupe. I don't know. It just looks so funky. So, yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the Chavos. It's a relatively okay car, you know, in the hands of the right experienced driver, as experienced as myself right here. It's a very good car. But, yeah, as you noticed in some of the clips, I hit the curb, and, yeah, I just couldn't help but kind of wince a bit, and I'm just like, ooh, that looks like it hurt. So, anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Stay tuned for more. I might be taking a break from my summer car videos, actually, and might just do some other games instead. I don't know. But if I hit 200 subscribers, though, well, I'm almost there. I'm like literally 3 subs away from 200K, or 200 subscribers. So, we'll see what happens. I might do an update video pretty soon, honestly. So, anyway, until next time, have a good day, everybody.